Okay, welcome back to the YouTube channel, American Professor. We're going to be picking back up on with our Matplotlib tutorial series. And in this video, we're going to discuss scatter plots. So continuing with the Matplotlib package, we can create a scatter plot by calling the .scatter method of PLT. And there's a number of useful keyword arguments we'll go over in this video. But first, you need to understand what are the positional arguments. So for a 2D scatter plot, you pass in your X and Y data. The keyword arguments that are useful are S, which is size, which are specified with the S keyword argument. And the size is measured in points squared, not points, as you might think. C is the color of each point, so you could do green, blue, as you'll see. Alpha is the faintness of the dots that will plot or scatter. And marker is the actual symbol of what will be displayed for each dot or in the scatter plot. It's the shape of each point that will be displayed in the scatter plot. Also, we can create a color map, as you'll see, using the C map. And later on, you'll see a number of other useful options that you can specify. So let's create our first scatter plot. You can specify, so let's create a variable numPoints50. We'll create some random data using np.random.rand for our X and Y points. And then we'll scatter them, calling plt.scatter. And then we'll show it with plt.show. So here we can see our 50 random points in the X and Y intervals of 0, 1 to 0 to 1 for both X and Y. And you can already see some default behavior of the plt.scatter method. One is that all the points by default are blue and they're round by default. So the markers are round, filled in circles, and they're not very transparent. So if there were things underneath of them, you couldn't see them. So the alpha value is 1. So let's start customizing our scatter plots. So here's some customizations. So again, we're going to scatter 50 points randomly in the same region. But this time we're going to make the points red. We do that by setting color equal to red, R, here as a string. And then let's specify the markers to be X shape. So we pass in string X to marker, keyword argument. And then let's make the points bigger. So let's blow them up. Last time they were pretty small. And we can do that by just changing the value, which here is an int, but it could be float as well for the size keyword argument. And then let's add some labels to our axes as well, X and Y. And let's add a title as well, call it random scatter plots. And we can change, if we ever want to zoom in or change the axes limits, we can do that with plt.xlim and plt.ylim. And you pass in the list, which is from the minimum to the maximum of that interval. I'll see what it looks like. Ta-da! There's our first customized scatter plot. And you've learned a lot of options already you can do to change the look and feel of your scatter plot. So some more information, some possible markers. Here you can see the marker that would be produced in the symbol. And so the marker is what you would specify as part of the keyword argument input to the scatter function. And so let's create another one. Your second example, let's create green squares with the faint alpha value of 0.1, the same size before, s equals 100. And we'll update plt.title to be faint random scatter plots. And here's what that looks like. So you can see the squares are faint. So like when they're like right on top of each other, you can see through. Which is nice when you have lots more data. So some other possible quargs or keyword arguments to experiment with are the edge color, the line width. If you're feeling fancy, you can pass in an array of different sizes, maybe randomly generated to specify a unique point size for every X and Y pair. Lastly, scatter plots are useful for like observing correlations or trends in your data. So like, why would you want to create a scatter plot? You may want to compare different features of input to a neural network, etc. So next time, in the next video, we'll pick up with visualizing 2D data using the M-show method shown here. All right, that's it for this video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Have a blessed day.